Hello, I'm Matthew Jackson. I'm an osteopath and trained in traditional Chinese medicine. So I'm a herbalist, and in my practice I prescribe herbs to people. I've had over 25 years experience, and I trained in China in the mid-90s. I was very fortunate enough to work in hospitals alongside renowned professors and experienced seeing changes made to a wide variety of conditions. It's been very exciting for me over the years to collect and synthesize some of the effective formulas that I have found and developed that really I'm confident about the results that I get with them in clinic. And I wanted to select these herbs and keep them there really and make them widely available to people rather than them finding me and coming to my practice locally and then us starting the relationship from there. So this is for all of you, and what I'd like to do is explain about concentrated powders and why our herbs have a higher quality or a pharmaceutical grade quality. What's the difference between the doses of herbs and even normal doses of herbs, raw herbs, and conventional medications. When I prescribe herbs to people, they're often surprised why we have to take quite a high level, and I try to explain that the pharmaceutical companies have synthesized medicines so that you only take 1 or 2 capsules and achieve a potent effect on the body. But with herbs, we need to consume quite a lot of them in order to push the body into a physiological therapeutic effect. About 10 to 15 years ago, we were still prescribing bags of herbs, raw herbs, that one would take home and put into a decoction with water and boil it up. Many of you who did this can remember how whiffy it was. I used to love it, but it used to put quite a few people off. It was very cumbersome, and it would take a long time to prepare. But we are concentrating the herbs by doing that. Do you see how we add the water and we boil the water down? So boiling all of the actions of the herbs, all of the therapeutic qualities go into the water, they're synergized together, make a decoction, and then we can boil that decoction down so that we only have to, at the end, just take a cup a couple of times a day. In that prescription, there would be around 100 to 200 grams of herbs. So that's what somebody was taking usually every 1 or 2 days, depending on the level that the herbalist would recommend. But that's still quite a lot of herbs. So when we go to our health food shop or we see online, the prescriptions of herbs usually that were being sold are 60 caps, and we're told to take 1 or 2 caps a day. This is why it's very different coming to our site and being exposed to herbs in their expert herbalist sort of level. We would tend to take herbs at a much higher level in order to gain a proper response from them. Otherwise you're just trickling a level, which is okay over a certain amount of time, but if you really want to get a good response from herbs, you do need to up the dose. So we can see how that 100 gram bag of herbs can end up being into a cup of decoction that then we would take. So what the herbal companies decided to do is to do this on a large scale and then dry that cup of liquid, but obviously in a bigger volume, so that then we got concentrated powder. So that would mean then that our 100 grams of herbs can be concentrated to 5 times, so that we'd only get 25 grams, 20 grams of powder from that. So we can then take 20 grams of powder to have the same effect as we would have done to realise 100 grams of raw herb. So this is the difference again when we buy herbs online and they're not concentrated, they're not pharmaceutical grade quality herbs is that you're actually having to take 5 times as much to get the same effect as you would have done from usually just taking the individual herb. So on our packets, to fight infection, this is our range at the moment that we've released, is to reduce antibiotic resistance. So we want to push the body, clearing heat, raising immunity and strength for the body. So I have said to release and increase that effect, we would take up to 8 capsules twice and 3 times a day if needed. Then to back down and take it either 8 capsules twice a day, 6 capsules twice a day, 4 capsules or 2 capsules. Now herbs is a very sort of, you have to see how they affect your body, and if you're able to take a high dose, that's fantastic. If you can't take that high dose, maybe because of digestive discomfort, then you would take what's adequate to yourself. And if you had a little reaction to them, then we often ask you to stop them, reduce the dose, let yourself recover and come back to it after a couple of days. So my advice would be to just get used to it first, take a few capsules, see how it is on your digestion. Then if you really want to clear that infection, take up to 8, 3 times a day. It's not an exact science. If you take a little bit more than that, only a little bit, it's not going to cause you too much problem. It won't cause you any problem. But, and then drop down. Let's say if I'm fighting a cold or needing herbs to fight a urinary tract infection, I would increase that dose to have a strong therapeutic level until all my symptoms have gone. I'd still wait until afterwards for a few days. I wouldn't just stop just like that, and then I'd drop down on the dose and have a little maintenance dose. That maintenance dose could be 4 capsules a day, twice a day, and just take that for another week or so. If it's something that's recurring and keeps coming back, then I would advise you just to take a strong maintenance dose. So 4 capsules a day, twice a day, 4 capsules twice a day, or 6 capsules twice a day. If you've got any questions, please just let me know. Contact me. I'm really happy just to help advise. We can do that on the phone or via Skype. But I'm here for you, and I wish you all the best in health. It's very exciting that we've got this sort of range of herbs and you can access them as you like. So I hope that I will be educating you, which are good to select, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you've got any comments or remarks, or if you've any feedback, then I would just like to improve my service to you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.